The Ukrainian government, virtually no support inside NATO for allowing them to actually join NATO. A lot of support to provide them with military weapons. There's been a lot of challenges in terms of that governance itself. Zelensky's popularity has shrunk down to the 30s at this point, despite though you'd think with the common threat that he'd be, sort of seen as more of a wartime president. That's not the case. How much do you think the West should be betting on him in terms of his ability to be a useful interlocutor with NATO countries?
Look, Zelensky came into office with no political experience. Let's remember who he is. He was a TV star and a well-known comedian, and really won because he had name recognition in the country for playing a president on TV, right? So let's just remember who he is. At the end of the day, we have to bet on Ukraine. In countries like Ukraine, they're such new democracies. We can't forget how really new and fragile Ukraine's democracy is. It hasn't had 200 years to develop. It's really had about 30, It's a country that is still finding out what it means to be a democracy. And despite Zelensky's inexperience as a political leader, he did win a huge landslide. So he is the legitimate leader. He's not popular, but not many leaders are. Look at Macron's numbers sometimes. Look at President Biden's numbers these days, right? I think we have to bet on Ukraine, and we have to work with the government that's in place. And absolutely, you're right. When the Russians say that they were really worried about Ukraine joining NATO, this is a complete falsehood. There was no avenue for Ukraine to join NATO anytime soon, as you rightfully said. So we have to bet on Ukraine, and I think we have to bet on Ukraine developing as a democracy in the years ahead, whether that's with Zelensky or another democratically elected president. That should be our goal, to make sure it is a democracy in this part of the world that's increasingly surrounded by authoritarian states like Belarus and Russia.